Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the atmosphere of our world around us, and today we will just comment a little bit about crazy Democrats, yes, Democrats in the United States. Some time ago I was talking on my channel that radical left young ones are taking over the party because old dinosaurs like Bernie Sanders, Mrs. Pelosi and others simply also thanks to biological processes are giving in. Biology makes its job, and luckily for us, conservatives and normal people, radical lefts are taking over. And one of the manifestations of this process we had in recent New York mayoral elections, when the candidate who is openly Marxist and complete commie, Mr. Mandani, the descendants of Hindu people settled before in Uganda, just got a huge part of vote. And the funny thing is that Democrats who still claim to be more normal people, if there is something like a normal, not leftist Democrat nowadays, and are telling that, yeah, maybe Mr. Mandani's claims are crazy and not realistic, but the problem is Republican opposite side. Hey, if you are not able to comment on the problems within your own party and you are always blaming your political opponents even for a bad weather out of the window, it means you are really in a critical situation. And another manifestation of bad condition of the Democratic Party is the great push for the release of so-called Epstein files. I do not want to go to the details who can be or who cannot be within these files, because it doesn't matter. Nowadays everyone will be accused of being there regardless of the fact if this person was there or not. But this is another smoke cover for the incompetent politicians, especially on the Democratic side, just to desperately cover their incompetence and internal collapse. It will not damage current administration much, in my opinion. But in the case of Mr. Mandani is more symptomatic, because it really shows us that radical left side of the Democratic Party really took over, and we know that party progresses well in elections when the main line of the party, I mean program slash ideological line, represents 70-80% of the party electorate. But in Democratic Party recently, it got really reverted inverted, sorry, because the current extreme leftist view of the young leadership of the Democratic Party represents maybe 20-30 of percent of the Democratic electorate, despite the fact this electorate was becoming more and more left in recent decades. Even for about 70-80% of current members of the Democratic Party, this what Mr. Mandani and AOC and other young ones represent. This is too extreme. So this is a very good process for, as I said, normal and conservative people, because Democrats will be too busy with their own problems and radical agendas to be a real threat against their oppositions. And we only need to be united, work for normal world, and really help Democrats to be busy with themselves. But this is always typical trend among leftist and leftist groups, because we remember when a Republican side, yeah, it was inverted in Spanish Civil War in second half of 1930s, 36, 39. Spanish Civil War, when the Republican side in Spain was losing. We remember that in Barcelona there were bloody clashes between anarchists and communists, so they were fighting with each other instead of fighting with their enemies. And in the last governments of the Republican side in Spain during Spanish Civil War, the anarchists against their own beliefs entered the government. Crazy stuff. But it's good to know it that when crisis starts, leftists are starting fighting with each other for doctrinal differences. This is very good for us. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.